Good evening, everyone. With the time being 6:00 p.m. on Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, I will call this meeting of the Webster School Committee to order and ask that we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So as a reminder, this meeting is being recorded, both video and audio, and it will be posted on the district website. The first item on the agenda is the discussion and approval of the minutes from the March 10th, 2026 meeting. Is there any discussion around those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve them.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Caleros?
Yes.
Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Member Scarrica?
Yes.
President.
Yes, motion passes. And the next item on the agenda is our superintendent's report. Good evening, Mrs. Perangeli.
Good evening. I will start this evening with a personnel update. And I am happy to say that the past week and a half has been very productive in bringing in some paraprofessionals on board. I'm happy to say we hired Mitchell Kroner as a para at Webster Middle School, Jeremiah Scarpos, para at Webster Middle School, Deanna Gerard is a para at Park Ave, and Morgan Ferguson, an ABA at Park Ave. We have actually one resignation. This just came in the other day, so I'm going to add it here. A second shift custodian has resigned. He's been here for a couple of months. He has an opportunity that came up, and so he is going to be moving on. So we've posted and advertised that position. Transfers at this time, we also have an update there. We have Miss Angie Bonilla. She is an administrative assistant at Park Ave. She is going to be transitioning here to central office for the special education department as their administrative assistant. So we've advertised the position at Park Avenue because we have Miss Dobb retiring as of April 2nd or 3rd, I believe it is. Lisa Dobb, I believe I announced that at the last meeting. Yep. So Miss Bonilla will be replacing her, and then we now advertise the position at Park Avenue. So a little movement around. Is there any questions about personnel? No? Okay. Moving on to management and operations, as you can see in your packet, we're continuing to look at policies and updating. We'll be updating about 14 policies later in this meeting, so I look forward to that. Last night, we had a tri-board meeting that was held at the Webster Library. It was a meeting between the school committee here, the finance committee for the town, and the selectmen for the town. It focused on FY27 budget, and I think the meeting went very well. The town administrator had brought forward some information on the town finances, along with budget updates from both the school committee and the town, and it walked away with a consensus that the use of free cash to offset our budget for the fiscal 27 year, and then start planning really early for FY28. As we know, we don't know what the future is going to bring as far as aid, state aid, Chapter 70, and local resources. So we're going to start the budget season extra early because, as we know, that's a stopgap. It's not something that is going to be here forever for us to do. So we're going to have to address that situation as we move down the road. We also have a budget workshop scheduled for Tuesday, March 31st. We'll be doing that at the library. So it's an opportunity for you to sit with our department heads and our principals to talk about what's going on in their departments, answer any questions that you have about what's happening in the schools, budgets at the schools, and any programming that you'd like. So we look forward to meeting with you on Tuesday, March 31st. Are there any questions about that? It is at 5 o'clock at Webster Middle School. On middle school. On Friday the 13th, we had PD across the district. We did get feedback from the PD. Some of it was very positive, and Unfortunately, some of it was not. We had a company come in to do some professional development for the teachers, and there was a disconnect somewhere along the line as to what we asked for and what was provided. And the last thing we want to do is waste anybody's time or have unproductive PD for our staff. Their time is very valuable. So we are going to be following up with the company and meeting and discussing our concerns. And it's not likely that we'll be using them anytime soon in the future. And, you know, we talk to our staff, we apologize to our staff because, you know, they want meaningful PD. That's what they want. They're coming in and they're looking to grow and learn as professionals. And unfortunately, the professional development fell short for some of them. So it's something we have to look at and address moving forward, and we are doing that. So, you know, more to come on that. I do have scheduled meetings for next week with the company in regards to that. Are there any questions about that? No? And then on Friday of this week, I'm meeting with our public safety offices. The fire chief, the new fire chief, Mr. Sad, is looking at conducting a tabletop exercise across the district. So we are meeting with him and police department to talk about what that will look like and how we're moving forward. I think part of the discussion is we talked about, you know, with the campuses here, we might be focusing on Park Ave. I think that would be a good option. So once we find out the details of that on Friday, I'll be able to speak with Ms. Pugliafico and the committee to see how that's going to proceed. Any questions there? No? Okay. On other updates, on last Thursday and Friday of last week, I attended the CMC and the Southern Worcester Collaborative meetings. I put the agendas in your packet for your review so you can see what we talked about. And then on Wednesday, tomorrow, I have the superintendent luncheon. So I'm looking forward to taking Nathan Cole, who is our student representative, along with Miss Nieves, and we'll be going to Holy Cross to celebrate him and have a nice luncheon with superintendents across Worcester County and other students across Worcester County. They always do a very nice job putting on a great luncheon for the students and recognizing them. So I look forward to that tomorrow. And that concludes my report. Are there any other questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Brantley. Any questions or comments from the committee? No? Well, the next item on our agenda is this business manager report, and I realize Mrs. Condos is out of town.
She is out of town,
So are
so
you-
I will be putting on my old hat, my
Great.
business manager hat.
Great.
As far as the first one, Bartlett High School building project update, we are moving along quickly. The building is looking wonderful. I was able to walk through B section last week, and it has come such a long way, even in the past week, to finishing. So they are on target. We are scheduled to move over April break. We're hoping that the turnover will happen on April 15th. We've been having regular weekly meetings with the movers, talking about what our move is going to look like, making sure we have everything in order. Our OAC meetings, the meetings this morning, were talked about what's happening in the finishing projects. Where are they? Is the commissioning happening? Do we expect any delays? And they are all confident that we can get in on time, and we're looking forward to that. So it's going to be really nice to have B section open, so the students will be in A and B now. A lot less having to go outside. We'll be moving into the modular, so there's only going to be 6 classrooms that are left in the modulars. 8 rooms are going to be for the administration here and adult ed, and then the other 6 will be for the science classrooms and foreign language. We were able to find room for the nurse because the nurse was slated to stay out there, and I was uncomfortable with that because the majority of the students are going to be in the building, and I feel that's where the nurse should be. We don't need kids coming out when they're sick, walking outside and going to the nurse on the other side. So we were able to find some spot for the nurse, so she will be moving out there for the next 6 months or 8 months until we get to Christmas, and she can get into her real office. So that's positive. We're excited about that. So we are on target, we are ready, the boxes are here, people are starting to pack. We have labels, we have everything we need, we're organized. So we've also advertised, which you'll see later on in the agenda, for some of the boilers, because as you know, the boilers are in the section that is going to be renovated now, so we need to remove them. So we need to surplus that later on in the meeting, but we are ready to go. I think things are moving a lot more smoothly this time now that we've been through it once. We know what not to do, and we know what we should be doing. So it's, I don't want to say it yet because I'm sure there's going to be stress down the road, but I'm not that stressed yet. So that's a good thing. We're on target. And I think the kids are looking forward to it because I know when I've been at lunch, I've been getting a lot of questions about Miss. When are we getting in there, Miss? When can we see it? So I don't know if you've heard any excitement about it, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of questions lately about it.
Kind of excited.
Mm-hmm.
They all like that.
Going outside and, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, because with all the crowding in the modules,
yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's a lot of classrooms, 14 classrooms, and you just have one hallway down the middle. So it can be busy, you know, when there's movement and stuff to go. And then you've got the restrooms and the nurse down on the end. So it's busy. So I think I think the students are gonna enjoy, and I think the teachers are gonna enjoy because, you know, from what we've heard, just even being out in the modulars, it's kind of like you're on your own island sometimes because you're not, if you're there all the time, there's no real reason for the teachers to come in to the building. So it's almost like they feel a little separated from the staff. So they're looking forward to having that sense of community back and being back in the building and having that regular day-to-day interaction with the colleagues. Because people in the winter, who wants to go outside and go visit, right? You don't want to do that. So I think it's going to be a great thing. We're excited to start getting back to a more normal every day. We're less traffic outside. It was great at first, but I think the novelty's worn off, especially after the winter we've had. So we're ready to go. Are there any questions about the project?
Through the chair,
Member Millet?
I just want to confirm, because I saw this in one of those papers we get in the mail all the time, that the town meeting is going to be in the auditorium.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yep, yep, we have scheduled that for the new auditorium. Yep, yep, we wanted to show it off.
Oh, that's great. Thanks
Yep.
for bringing that up.
Yep,
Good news.
so we are excited for that. Yep, town meeting will be held here.
On the stage? There
We
can't
have to
be
figure
enough.
that out yet because the stage is smaller. It's a different setup,
Yeah.
you know, even than at Park Ave. So we've got to take a look at that. We're not sure because even the chairs are closer up front. So
Right.
where the old auditorium, you could put the tables down low, you probably can't do that. So I don't know where we're going to be, if we're going to have to sit in the front rows or find something. We'll make it work. But we are excited about that. We're excited to show the community our auditorium, and I think it'll be nice for people to see.
And you still are, because I have questions from my sons who graduated from here, and I keep telling them that there's going to be an open house.
We will,
when
once the
it's all
building's done.
because
Yes, we
they're
will.
anxious to see it.
Yeah, we will do an open house when it's all done, and I will work as soon as it's open. We were talking about it today. I'll try and get another video of the progress to share out because that seems to go over well with the community
Yes, you
members for
did
people.
An excellent job with that video.
Thank you, thank you. So I'll do the same again for the second part of the building, and then we're ready to rock and roll. We're excited, and I'm looking forward to it. So we're good. Any other questions? No, okay. And then on other updates, Green Communities Grant, Ms. Contos had worked with the town to apply for a Green Community Grant, and I'm happy to say that Webster Row is awarded grant funding in the amount of $228,010 to upgrade the lighting at Park Ave Elementary for LED lighting. You think the building's not that old, it's, it's opened in what, 2015, so it's already got 11 years on it. The lighting is already outdated, so this is, provides some good savings for us in the future. So the work is scheduled to happen over summer break. She mentioned potentially April break, but I'm not so sure about that one. I'm leaning that might be, I think that's a little ambitious, but you never know. Ms. Contos doesn't hesitate, so if they can get it done, she'll take care of it. And then in other news, we had our kitchen inspections across the district, like we typically do a couple times a year. I'm happy to say that Webster Middle School and Bartlett had no findings. There were 2 findings at Park Ave that were addressed. There was a little debris buildup on the floor and a food disposal item. So I know Ms. Contos had met with the food manager, Kelsey, and the head custodian, Mr. Heatherman, to talk about how they can remedy those issues, and that has been addressed. And that concludes the business manager report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Perangeli. Any questions or comments from the committee regarding the business manager report or the Bartlett project? No? Okay. Well, thank you for those updates. I hope Mrs. Condos is enjoying herself on a much-deserved vacation.
Absolutely.
And the next item on our agenda is our principal report. And joining us this evening from Park Avenue is Miss Amy Poliafico. Good evening.
Hello, good evening. So first up, I just wanted to share some attendance data information with you. So our daily attendance rate has stayed pretty consistent as compared to last year. Our year-to-date attendance rate is 92.3%. Last year it was 92.7. So we have improved over 23, 24 by quite a bit, and we're staying pretty steady in that range. This year, our grade with the highest chronic absenteeism is kindergarten, but that does seem to shift year to year. As we look, it's not like we can follow a cohort that consistently has attendance issues. Over the last 3 years, it has really shifted from grade to grade on what grade is struggling with attendance the most. And while our chronic absenteeism is up just a little bit from last year, we're still averaging very much better than we were in the 23-24 school year. So I think our efforts in the last 2 years have really paid off and shown some consistency between the last 2 years. We have been affected quite a bit by illness over the last couple months. That is a pattern we see in our attendance from really November to March. We start to take a dip. Come about April, it starts to come back up. So that's just a pattern we've also seen really across all 3 buildings and across all 3 years at Park Ave. We do continue to address our absence concerns with informative letters home. Sometimes parents just don't realize how quickly those days add up over a school year. Teacher outreach, school counselor outreach, and administrative meetings when needed. So, and all of those really take a stance of problem solving and providing assistance to families as needed. That's really our goal, is to support families in getting their kids to school. Any questions about our attendant? Okay. Next up is our mid-year benchmark data. I just wanted to give you a little update on sort of our state of assessments at Park Ave. So in January, we did hold our mid-year assessments. We do iReady in reading and math, and Dibbles in reading. Overall, we did in both areas, reading and math, we did see improvement and growth, but we do continue to see a large number of students behind where they should be. So we're in our upper percentages in growth, but still in our lower numbers for on grade level achievement. In reading, we're seeing the highest growth towards grade level in our students that start the year 1 to 2 grade levels behind. So we're really focusing on closing those gaps for our struggling students, and we're seeing that improvement happening. Our highest growth group right now this year has been grade 2, so they've had the highest growth this year. In math, we see the same type of pattern, high growth, but still behind grade level. And we're seeing the most growth in our students who are identified at the beginning of year as being 2 grade levels below. So when they start the year, identified as 2 grade levels. So this information is telling us some of the following. We know that our foundational instruction in K-1 is very strong. So our K-1 teachers have really worked hard to intentionally and plan their foundational instruction and to make sure they're adjusting their instruction in line with the science of reading. So new research that is coming out that we are understanding about how brains learn to read. Many of us may remember the cueing systems, look at the picture, guess at the word, those types of things. We have since learned that there are better ways to teach students how to read from the beginning. And our interventions are working. Sorry, my son thinks it's a good idea to call me right now. Our interventions are working. That's also what we're seeing. You know, we have differentiated small groups in K-2, and we have tailored win blocks in 3 to 4. So we're really focused on our interventions for our struggling students. In math, we also, our strong Tier 1 programming is closing the gaps for students. As you know, 2 years ago, we got a new math program, and we have really seen it paying dividends. We have really seen the teachers staying true to it, and so we've seen sustained growth over the last 2 years. Some areas for continued focus, I know I'm a little, are areas for continued focus. So we want to examine what we're doing in grade 2 to really try to replicate that across our other grades. We're seeing such strong achievement there. We're going to continue what we're doing in our intervention blocks and continue utilizing our progress monitoring. We also do see a need across the building for comprehension, vocabulary growth, and background knowledge building for our students. So these are a major focus of our current PLC structures. So we have our structures built in to intentionally plan for those areas. In math, we do need to focus on improving the use of our curriculum for acceleration, not just remediation, ensuring that we're really pushing students forward. And examining some of our structures and pacing for intervention. We have really strong intervention systems set up for our reading. In upper grades 3 and 4, we're able to roll in some math intervention as well. So we want to make sure we're strengthening those interventions. And this may self-correct as we continue growing our new program. Only K-1 has had it consistently for 2 years in a row. So I expect to see, and we're already hearing from the teachers that they're seeing students better prepared for math just based on 2 years of use of that program. Any questions on our state of our achievement address?
Seems like the math program is great. I was at the middle school today, and they were talking about the grade 5 math and what they're seeing in it, and the change and how hands-on and how student-led it is. And they thought it was really positive.
Yes.
They really liked it.
Yes, it really builds on the students' conceptual understanding of math, less than the procedural, especially at those younger grades. And it builds in student discourse opportunities. It builds in really strong questioning. So it's been, and I'm hearing from my teachers that they have not loved or understood math the way they do now that they've taught from this program, because, and I know when I was a math teacher, I felt the same way. I did not feel as confident in math until I had to teach 10-year-olds how to understand it. And this program has done even more to help the teachers feel confident in their own math understandings. So, yeah, it's been a very good choice for us.
Ms. Poliafico, can you remind
Yes.
us, what's the math program again?
Eureka Math Squared?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And then finally, some events. I bulked up the rest of my, I usually have a lot of events to talk about, and I didn't have as many this year, so I could have kept it super quick, but I bulked it up other places. So some past events, we welcomed Crocodile River Band to school, which brings African music and culture. It was really great. We had the whole school in the gym up and dancing at the end, so it was
A sight.
really, yes. The whole school in the gym dancing. And so I'm getting the chills right now just thinking about it. It was really fun. And then just this past weekend, we had our Cookies and Canvas event the PTO put on, which is always a successful and well-attended event. And coming up, we have MCAS starting in April. Our ELA is April 7th through 10th, with makeups the following week, and our math is May 12th through 15th. So those are big times for us. And then we have Community Reader Day coming on April 16th. If you have not yet received your invite, I'm sure you will from Ms. Ricard. And our art show is that evening as well. Our PAEAE art show will be the 16th in the evening, 5 to 7, I believe it runs, which is also when our book fair is running. And that is all I have to present.
Well, thank you for your updates.
Yeah.
Sounds like lots of great things going on over at Park Avenue.
Yeah, both, you don't often hear from the, the data piece of it and our instruction. So it was I'm really proud of our staff and how hard they're working, both in their instruction as well as their events to bring to life the school. So they're really working hard to make sure we're meeting our students' needs.
The whole student, yeah.
Yeah,
That's great. Yeah, I
absolutely.
agree. And it's great to hear the progress that's being made with regard to the students that are not quite on grade level at this point. And I know Cookies and Canvas is always a hit, so good memories there. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments from the committee?
Through the chair.
Yes, Ms.
I
Millett?
just wanted to say, I appreciate seeing the introduction and celebration of staff in our local paper.
That's right.
It's almost every week, and it's nice to see. I'm hoping this kind of snowballs into the other schools, too, and have that happen so the community gets to see the people that work in the school. But I like seeing it. It's nice that the community gets to see it.
We're very fortunate to have our PR director, our cruise director, Mr. Aronian, which you're not surprised by. He is certainly our PR director within the building. So he does a great job with that.
Thanks for bringing that up, Millett. I mean, it's a bright spot in our week for sure around our house to see the staff that are being featured. And I have to imagine it's a bright spot in the staff's week and families' week as well. So yeah, great work there. Any other questions or comments for Ms. Poliafico? No? All right. Well, thank you for sharing all the great things that are going on at Park Avenue. Nice to see you. The next item on our agenda is a student representative update. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening. So a couple of positives that we have is, of course, the school year is running smooth. Some challenges, it's still a bit cold outside, but we're working through it. And of course, this week, I believe we started MCAS, so
Yep. Okay.
it's a challenge for the underclassmen, but they'll get through it. Of course, testing last week, 10th grade had their PSAT testing. And of course, today and tomorrow, ELA MCAS for 10th graders. And a mock AP exam testing is starting to begin, I believe tomorrow. Student engagement, last week, DECA attended the state competition, and I'd like to congratulate Desiree, Naomi, and Thais for their participation in this event. This Friday, PBIS is hosting their egg hunt during the day for students that bought tickets with their Barlow Bucks during lunch. Some family events is, I believe, this Saturday or some Saturday, community egg hunt and breakfast. So make sure to join us with that. It's just $5 for a breakfast and of course an egg hunt, and there will be a ton of raffles. Sports, last week we had our mandatory athlete family coach meeting, and spring sports practice has begun, and hopefully everything's running smoothly. Of course, cold weather did kind of screw a little bit of things over, but we're working through it. And for senior class updates, of course, just more scholarships. And of course, our school year is almost ending, so we're closer and closer to graduating, so that's good. And that is all.
Exciting, a little scary maybe, or mostly exciting?
A little bit nervous, but exciting.
Yep, it's a big change. So glad the weather is starting to warm up just in time to move into the building and not be in the mods as much as you have been all throughout the winter. Tennis, are you playing tennis?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
It is a bit colder up there, but as we just start like running and practicing, it gets very hot up there, so
I
it's all
bet.
right.
Yeah, the heat comes out from the court, I bet, right?
Yep.
Great. Well, looking forward to hearing updates on the sports as they come. I know no matches and no games yet,
I
but,
think next week they're beginning up.
oh, okay, great. Any questions or comments for Eric? I actually just have one. You mentioned the nurse's office and the bathroom and the mods. You have 14 classrooms there. You have lots of bathrooms, not just one bathroom, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 gang bathrooms, and then there are private bathrooms.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yep, sounds good. All right.
It's just not as open as like the hallways in the school or something when you have 14 classes with just one straight hallway going down, and everybody's exiting out the same door. So it's not even multiple doors that people are exiting. You know, we have 2 entrances, but everybody's exiting the side that's going towards the school. So it's crowded. It's crowded. When that bell rings for lunch, you see it's a trail that's going right out. It is. So, but that'll be over soon.
Hopefully.
The students have been wonderful. They really have been great and taken everything with a grain of salt. And, you know, we've been doing this for what, I want to say a year and a half now, right? Probably. And it's been fantastic. I just think it's been a long winter. Moving, which you can't blame. I mean, we've had a lot of snow and navigating, and then when you get the wet weather and you're walking in between, and you just want to get to where you're going, especially when it's cold and messy, and you can't get there, you're following the pack. And it's, you know, 14 classrooms, 30 kids in a classroom, that's a lot of kids walking at one time, trying to get in. I know I've stood and held the door open for a while, and I'm like, is it ever going to end the line? But pretty soon, we're on the home stretch, which is great. You know, we're only going to have a few classes left. So I don't know if you're going to have any science classes at the end of the year that you might be going back out to the mods. But other than that, I mean, it's science and foreign language. That's all that's going to be in the modular classroom. So everything else will be inside. So.
Well, I imagine the students with the world language and science classes are going to be happy to be walking out in the nice spring weather, as long as it's not raining, to get a little fresh air in the middle of their school day, but not a welcome thing in the middle of winter, especially with all the snow and ice we got this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
All right, great. Well, thanks again for your updates. Good to see you, Eric.
You too.
The next item on our agenda under old business is a budget update for our FY27 budget.
Yep, and I gave an update earlier about the tri-board. Thank you, Eric. Have a great day. Basically, our administrative team has been working with the budget, talking about different scenarios. So we're prepping for our meeting for you for next week, which we look forward to. But I am happy about the outcome of last night's meeting. And, you know, I look forward to showing a unified front at town meeting in May when we go. So we'll have budget updates for you on Tuesday of next week.
Great, thank you for that. Any questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, the next item on our agenda is the discussion and approval of an out-of-state field trip for the Webster Middle School fifth grade students to the Luce Center for Arts in Woodstock, Connecticut, where they'll be attending a live opera performance.
Yep, and I believe they've done this for the last
Many
couple of
years.
years. Yep, going. So we look forward to your approval. The kids really enjoy this experience.
I bet. It's a great opportunity for them to not only be exposed to some new musical sounds that they may not be regularly exposed to, but it's a dress-up day for them too, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's wonderful. Yep.
Great. Any questions or comments from the committee about this field trip? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Calero? Yes. Member Demopulis?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Member Trivia?
Yes.
Trustee?
Yes, motion passes. Wish them safe travels and a lot of fun. The next item on the agenda is the discussion and approval of some surplus items. We have 3 Lochnavar boilers from Bartlett High School that I think, am I safe in saying we made it through the winter with those boilers?
You are. We were
Wow.
holding our breath there for
We
some
were,
time,
yes.
and we made it. We made it.
Wow.
We are truly counting down the days till we can move. I think there's going to be a lot of smiles on the faces when we leave this building, especially the students in A section. I mean, so we're ready to go. We're
Yeah.
ready. Yep.
Sure. Any questions or comments from the committee about this disposal or recycling of these boilers? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to declare surplus items, including 3 Lochnavar boilers from Webster Public Schools, and to direct the superintendent or business manager to auction off, donate, or otherwise recycle or dispose of these materials in conjunctions with the provisions for Mass General Law 30B.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Calero? Yes. Member Demopulis?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Member Trivia?
Yes.
Trustee?
Yes.
And just
motion
so you know, we
passes.
posted them. We are put proposals out there in case anybody wants to purchase. So they are posted on Combis. There's an ad going out. So we look forward. It'll be in the paper over the next couple of weeks also.
Okay,
So we are
Great.
moving.
that's great.
Stand and wait for God.
That's right.
I hope it's somebody like MacGyver that picks those up.
I know.
A roll of tape and a wad of gum. The next item on the agenda is the acceptance of a donation in the amount of $2,230 from Hometown Bank to Webster Public Schools.
Yes, I was very happy to receive a phone call or an email about 2 weeks ago from Hometown Bank. They have been running a promotion at their banks in town that anybody who opens up an account, $10 goes towards the school. They said we wanted it to go to Webster Public Schools. So it's continuing. The program is continuing right now, but she said we built up a nice little amount, so $2,230. She said they wanted it donated to the school for whatever we see fit. They didn't have any directive or specific use for the funds. So it's whatever we feel is appropriate for them. So I figured we could put it in a gift fund, and if something came up that we felt appropriate, I know we had some discussions about is there a need with a new building? Are there things that we could use or anything in the new building? So we're just kind of sitting tight. We don't have a purpose yet.
No, great. Any questions or comments from the committee? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to accept this donation in the amount of $2,230 from Hometown Bank.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please poll the committee?
Member Calero? Yes. Member Demopulis?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Member Trivia?
Yes.
Trustee?
Yes, motion passes, and a big thank you to Hometown Bank. They're a great partner
Absolutely.
to us and
Yeah.
love having them in our community and
It was so appreciative.
appreciate their generosity. So next on our agenda is several first readings of policies. I'm going to take them individually.
Yep,
Um,
we'll go through if you want.
Okay, so the first is policy BBA/BBBB, school committee member qualifications and oath of office. It's a first
Correct.
reading.
Yep, this is the first reading. I've gone through a lot of these, and many of them were outdated and not up to date with current practices that we do now. So you see the highlighted is anything that is new in the policy. We've struck out any of the old, so it's just making sure, and we've added the language below about the mass ethics and the law about getting that done. So, any questions on that one?
No questions for me. Any questions from the committee? No? Okay.
Please, if you see any errors or typos or anything, please let us know.
The next item on our agenda is policy BEC, executive sessions, and that's also a first reading.
Yep. This one just had a couple of changes. The first copy is the old and the second is the new. You can see we added 2, strategy with respect to negotiations that did not exist in the old one. So that was added to be updated. And then on page 2, it's a process about, basically it's in line with the executive session laws. So we've updated to reflect that appropriately.
Any questions or comments from the committee about this policy? All right, the next item is policy BEDF, voting method. That's a first reading.
Yep. Again, this is just updating with common practices and laws, making sure we had the executive session minutes, and then not taking votes by secret ballot.
Questions or comments from the committee? The next item is policy GCF, professional staff hiring. That's a
And
first
if you're
reading.
questioning why some of them we have, like this one we were able to edit, is because we had a copy that we had in past years that we could edit. The other ones were just the original paper copies that had in a book that didn't exist anywhere. So as we're updating, some of them we already have that I can edit and show you the edits on them, where others I don't have that opportunity to do unless we just manually type it all. So So this one is just, you can see where we, again, have just updated some of the language. For the licensure requirements, we've put in our non-discrimination language to make that up to date. We added the language for adding some screening committees, or you could direct me to add screening committees for some positions. And that's pretty much it for there.
Questions or comments from the committee? Right. The next item is philosophy of staff development, first reading, and that's policy GCIA.
This is brand new. We did not have this policy before, so this is an addition.
Questions or comments from the committee on this one? Right. The next item is policy GCRD, tutoring for pay.
Yep, this was updated to comply with the laws, the ethic laws.
Any questions or comments about this policy? Okay. The next item is policy KBBA, non-custodial parents' rights, first reading.
And again, this one we did not have at all, so we felt it was important to have this policy. So this is new, and this follows our process that we do now also.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the committee on this policy? No? Okay. The next item is policy KBE, relations with parent or booster organizations. That's a first reading.
Yep. And this was just updated to comply with how we are actually doing any business with parent organizations. They have to file paperwork with us, comes from the building principal, and it is sent here. They have a vote to all parents of children enrolled and will designate the organization to be recognized if more than one organization with the same purpose makes this request. They do have to file a 501c3 status, and then they need to comply with all. So this is our practice, and this policy was outdated.
Great. Any questions or comments from the committee? All right. Thank you for the updates. The next item is policy KBG, Parent Advisory Councils. It's a first reading.
Yes, and this was new. We did not have this policy before. As you know, we do have a CPAC, a Special Ed Parent Advisory Council, and we also have an LPAC that we meet, but we did not have a policy in place. So this is what we do and what we, in the absence of a CPAC, what we can do. So this follows the rules and regulations.
Questions or comments from the committee? Next is policy KDB, Public Right to Know, first reading.
This one you can see I added on the second page. It is pretty aligned with what we had, but there was an addition where it's just updated with the technology over the years of posting stuff on websites and making sure we have things accessible there, and how we're retaining records. So we do this, and we will be doing this. Just an update to make it more modern.
Questions or comments from the committee there? The next item is policy KE, public comment, public complaints. That's a first reading.
Yep. So the first one is what we've had. It's been in existence from 2003, and it was just streamlined a little bit on the second page.
Questions or comments from the committee on this? Right. The next item is a deletion of policy KLGE, Memorandum of Understanding.
This was, it went with a policy KLG. This was an exhibit. We have a different memorandum of understanding that we keep, that we're required to do by law for our SROs with our police department that we do. And actually, we called MASC about exhibits because some of them are very outdated, and I'm like, are we required to have them? What's best practice? And they actually recommend now not having exhibits in there just because they change. Documents change, and do you want to keep coming back to the school committee and voting every time a document changed? So they recommended, we're deleting this because it is not our memorandum of understanding. We have to do it, but as we go through these now, I'll be bringing exhibits back to you for deletion as we get to those spots.
Okay. Just no longer necessary,
Nope,
or in this case, even applicable.
right.
Okay, great. Any questions or comments from the committee about this? All right. Next item is policy KLK, Relations with Local Governmental Authorities, first reading.
Yeah, this one was a new one also. We did not have this in our policy manual. So this is basically, it just says the school committee, it's a very short one. The school committee and administrative office is welcome to seek and serve the residents of the community, will participate then in planning and executing of projects that will mutually beneficial for students. If the school committee policy that administrative inform elected and appointed officials of local and county government of the desire to work cooperatively for improved services. So basically this is saying we're going to work together with our town partners in good faith. And I think that's something we practice every day here in Webster, but we don't have a policy about it.
Right. Might as well memorialize it. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Any questions or comments from the committee on that policy? All right. Well, that concludes the discussion about
We have
policies.
one more.
Oh, we did? Oh, what did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry. I checked it off already. Thank you. Policy LDA, student teaching and internships. That's
Yep.
our first reading on that one, too. Thank you for
And
catching that.
again, this is something new, and it is a practice that we participate in. I think all of our buildings have had student teachers, so it's just nice to memorialize a policy, so we have a procedure in place.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments from the committee on that one? No? Okay. Well, that concludes the discussion about policies. And the next item on our agenda is a review, transfer, and signing of warrants, bills, payroll, and vouchers. Before we move into signing, we do have a transfer request in the amount of $7,094.94. And that's going to be from the Webster Middle School Activity Savings Account to the checking account. Any questions about that? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
So moved. Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Member Valero? Yes. Member Adamopoulos?
Yes.
Member Millet?
Yes.
Ms. Karica?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Desiree, would you please pull the committee?
Member Calero,
Yes.
Member Demopolis,
Yes.
Member Miller,
Yes.
Member Scarpelli.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes. Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.